Hey everybody, it's Joric. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. Today I wanted to take some time and make this video because I got done with a walking tour. Sometimes I'll do walking tours in Lisbon with people that are interested in moving to Portugal. It's a great way to get out, get some exercise, get some food, have a glass of wine maybe or a beer, and get to know people that are looking to move here, and then they get to meet someone who's already been here for several years and get my opinions on things, whether it's just one opinion, but get maybe some thoughts on day-to-day life and what it's like to be here. So I love doing it. And today was 5 couples, so 10 people from Canada and United States. And one couple, I think they were from Vancouver, somewhere around Vancouver, and they had asked the question as we were walking through, going, with what's going on in the Middle East and what's going on with conflict in Russia with Ukraine and things like that, and of course NHR, we don't know whether Portugal's right for us, and a couple of other couples chimed in and were nodding. I could watch the body language, and they were agreeing with the assessment of they were, not all sure or committed to Portugal, and that's okay. Some of them are thinking Portugal's like in their top three, but not necessarily top one. And so I stopped, and we had a pastel de nata, and I just asked everybody, since that was the discussion, how long had people been thinking about coming to Portugal? And 2 couples said had been on their list since before we had moved in 2019. And then 2 other couples had thought about it during the shutdown. And then one couple started thinking about it last year, and has made a couple of trips already. This is their 3rd trip in to really do scouting trip and see if it makes sense. And what was interesting is the couples, were, I think they wished that the NHR would still be around the way it was, but that wasn't a main concern. I mean, sort of was, but they were talking about, well, there's conflict and there's all these things that, you never know what can go on. And of course, there's an election coming up. And it seemed like I just asked the question. I said, I apologize if this kind of turns things sour for the rest of the walking tour, but I'm just going, it sounds like you don't want to be in Portugal, and you're looking for reasons to corroborate and support that, as opposed to looking for reasons to be here. Because, as they were coming up with different situations and scenarios, family scenarios, a couple of the couples were still working. I understand all that because we worked through all of those things. Family concerns, work concerns, all of that. And I just mentioned to them, going, well, we made the decision. We went through those hurdles, and our decision was Portugal is still going to be where we were moving to. May not be for the long term, and who knows? Anything can change here. That's for sure. But we went in with the mindset: how do we get here? As opposed to finding reasons not to come, we were looking for reasons, more reasons to get us to come. And I basically said, I know that this is the tagline for a famous shoe company, but I blurted out, I said, just do it. You just got to do it, because you're always going to find reasons to not do something. It's a big commitment. It's a move across an ocean commitment. You're leaving your country. There's a lot of nuances and new things, and what we experienced moving in 2019 is not the same as someone moving in 2024, and that's not a bad thing. There's just different circumstances that people have that would help or hinder their move now as opposed to when we came. But it seemed like they were more hesitant as a group, and they hadn't, and keep in mind, they hadn't known one another before we did our tour, but they all had kind of the similar mindset of they're just on the fence on whether they're looking to come or not. And so after I said the just do it, and everyone kind of stopped talking for a second, I said, hear me out. If you are coming 2, 3, 4, 5 times and you haven't committed your, to Portugal, or pick a country, you're probably not going to at the sixth, seventh, or eighth time. I think it's rare that somebody, makes 10 trips and go, okay, hey, I think this might be the place for us. Generally speaking, after maybe 2, 3 trips, you have a good feel and you can assess what you maybe like or dislike about a place. Maybe spend more time, especially in the locale or municipality that you're going to be living in. I think that's really important. But if you don't have the mindset of just do it and we're going to find a way to do it, if you're, I'll call it hedging your bet, if you're always kind of looking for, you need 50 reasons to say yes, and if there's one reason to say no, then you may choose not to, you're probably not going to come. And I would say it doesn't matter what country is out there. The same thing will happen. You'll be hindered by being scared or frightened about what could happen or what may happen. And I will say that yes, sometimes it doesn't work out. The worst thing that happens, if that's the case, you move back to your home country after a year or two, or maybe less, maybe more, but you have some fantastic experiences along the way. And part of that, I think, I will say, my wife and I, there's been a significant growth, personal growth, in uprooting ourselves, moving away from family, the jobs, I'll say the life, the culture, the common ground and threads that we knew, and moving into some place different and having to learn that, but making the choice to do that. So our mindset was going for it and doing it. We felt like 10, 20 years from now, when we look back and we're having lemonade on the porch, and talking about the good old days, we wanted to talk about we did it. Not, you remember that time we talked about moving to another country? Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, well, we didn't do it. A little too late now. We didn't want to have the wisha, woulda, coulda mindset. We wanted to do it. And that's something that if you are on the fence, or if you're just not sure, or you need to keep getting convinced to move someplace, then I don't know if it makes sense to move, because then you're already, kind of, you're not committed. You're sort of half in, half out. And to do something this major, to move and commit yourself, I think you got to be committed. And it doesn't mean, again, that you live forever someplace. We may move sooner than later. You never know with our situation. But what it means is that you're committed to the goal. You're going to accomplish that goal. You're going to figure out how to live in the new place. In this case, it's Portugal. And then from there, you're going to move on, and you're going to live your life here, or you're going to learn some lessons, and you're going to go back home, whatever. There's I forget the name of the movie, or the series. I don't know if it was Netflix or Amazon, about a female chess player, and I think one of the quotes from it is, I don't lose. I either win or I learn. And I think the mindset here is it's a learning experience. And even if it doesn't work out in the long term, meaning your goal of staying and retiring in Portugal doesn't work out, that's okay. If you learn some things along the way, the biggest thing is when you are older, and many of you are already in a point where you're retired, you're looking for that D7. Do you want to be on the porch or someplace and have those regrets? If moving to another country is what you want to do, find a way, provided your country allows it and the entering country that you want to go to allows it, and you pass all of the documentation, the background check, and you can do it. So there's no nothing that says you can't do it, and you want to do it. Because again, you'll look back and I think you'll completely be happy with the decision that you made, and you'll be, I think, frustrated, and whether you admit it or not, you'll regret if you don't do it. Again, Portugal, there's not a lot that happens here. I know I've talked about politics recently and some things like that, but there's nothing, it's a very peaceful, easy feeling kind of country that you can get into, you can relax, it's good life. As far as if you're retired, working, that's a separate video. But if you're retired and looking to come someplace, great option to be in Europe and to pick out Portugal. But I wanted to reiterate, and I apologize for hitting it again, just do it. If you're going to come here, put a plan together, talk to people like myself who have done it, figure out how to do it and make it happen and get it off the list. So it's not the, well, maybe we'll get around to it. Turn a someday into today. That would be my parting advice. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video, and enjoy your travels.